She couldn't stop. The demon was dead. The battle was won. The universe was saved. And none of that mattered, because she couldn't stop. Her feet kept moving, her tongue still out, her eyes still that terrible red, and the gods who had begged her to fight now had no idea how to make her stop. This is the story of a goddess who was too powerful for her own mythology, who had to be stopped not by an enemy, but by love, and I'm still not sure if that's beautiful or terrifying. So here's where we are. The gods have a problem. There's a demon named Raktabija, and the name matters. Rakta means blood, Bija means seed, and his power was exactly that. Every drop of his blood that hit the ground became a new Raktabija, a full copy, ready to fight. The gods had been fighting him for what felt like forever. Every wound they gave him made the army larger. Every attack made things worse. At some point, there were thousands of him. Tens of thousands. No weapon worked. No strategy worked. And eventually someone, and different texts disagree on exactly who, called for her. Not Parvati, not Durga in her gentle form. They called for the version of the goddess that burns, the one who doesn't negotiate. She arrived the way thunder arrives, not slowly. Dark skin, wild hair, completely unbound, which in this mythology is significant. Bound hair meant civilization. Unbound hair meant something older, something past the point of keeping up appearances. 4 arms, a garland made of severed heads, and I know how that sounds, but stay with me, because by the end of this video that garland is going to mean something very different to you. A long tongue, extended out. In some traditions that's hunger. In others it's described as the moment she tasted blood for the first time, and something shifted. She looked at the demon army and she wasn't afraid. That's the detail I keep coming back to. Every other god had been fighting this battle in desperation. She arrived like it was already over. The solution was so specific that I think it must have come from the goddess herself, because no general would have thought of it. She fought Raktabija, and every time she wounded him, every time blood fell, she caught it with her mouth, before it could reach the ground, before it could become more of him. She drank it, and she kept drinking, and she kept fighting, and the army started shrinking because there were no new copies being made. One by one she found the originals. One by one she destroyed them, and every drop of blood that would have seeded a new demon, she swallowed. She won. She actually won. The battle was over. The demon was gone. And then she couldn't stop. The blood. The battle frenzy. Whatever it is that she had become in order to win, it wouldn't release her. She was still moving, still destroying. Innocent things now. The battlefield had no edges anymore. The gods watched. They had built temples to her. They had begged her for exactly this power. And now they had no idea what to do with it. This is the part of the story that the popular versions rush through. They call it a rampage, a frenzy. They make it sound like an accident. I don't think it was an accident. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I just think she didn't want to stop yet. Shiva had a choice. He could fight her. And, he's Shiva, the destroyer, the god that the other gods run to when everything else has failed. He didn't fight her. He lay down in her path, on the ground, like a man who has made peace with something. And she stepped on him. And then she felt it, what she had stepped on, realized, and she stopped. Her tongue, that long extended tongue, it pulled back in. Some texts say she bit it. Not from shame exactly, but from something like, oh, I've gone too far. Different texts explain it differently. Some say Shiva did it because it was the only way to break her trance, that the shock of stepping on her husband, the most sacred bond she had, snapped her back. Some say it was surrender, that Shiva laying down his power in front of her power was the only thing that matched her energy without fighting it. I think about that a lot, about that garland, the severed heads. Here's what the texts actually say. Each head represents a letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, every sound that human beings can make, which means the garland isn't a trophy, it's language itself. It's the entire capacity for human expression, hanging at her throat. She holds creation in her hands, literally, the skulls of those she's destroyed, and wears human expression around her neck, I don't know what to do with that image, but I can't stop thinking about it. There are traditions that worship her not as a goddess of death, but as a goddess of liberation. The idea being that the things she destroys are the things that were holding you back. Fear, ego, the version of yourself that was too scared to change, and the dark skin. That's been debated for centuries. Some texts say it represents the infinite, the void, the space before creation. You can't separate darkness from the cosmos. She is the darkness from which everything emerged. That's not frightening. That's origin. I've been thinking about this story for a while now, and the thing I keep landing on is, she saved everyone. She did exactly what she was called to do, and then she was the problem. That feels very human to me. The part of you that fights hard enough to win. It doesn't always know how to come home after. And Shiva didn't defeat her, didn't trap her, didn't argue with her. He just got out of the way of his own pride, and that somehow worked where nothing else could. I'm not going to tell you what this story means. I genuinely don't think it has one meaning. But here's what I want you to sit with. If the only thing that can stop your own power is the person willing to lay down in front of it, what does that say about power? What does that say about love? And which one of them do you think was braver? I'm genuinely asking. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And I'll see you next week.